I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it. I'm putting my heart in this, dog. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I just want to say one thing, and to the fans and everybody in Gator Nation. I'm sorry. Extremely sorry. You know, we were hoping for an undefeated season. That was my goal. Something Florida's never done here. But I promise you one thing. A lot of good will come out of this. You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season. And you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season. And you never see a team play harder than we will the rest of the season. God bless.
A tough loss, you know, on the road here. Obviously, you're feeling that. Tell me what it's like to just go out there and see your family and talk to them.
I mean, of course, it's always great seeing my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so thankful that they're able to be here to support me with every game. You know what I'm saying? They're always here. And with just seeing them, of course, it makes my day every time because you never know what can happen. And so, I mean, I'm not going to let this loss affect me. I'm going to just go talk to them. I'm just going to move on from it, and that's it. So.
What's going on, Tar Heel family? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, man, we're going to give some final thoughts on the Duke-Carolina game. Now, before we get into that, what you just witnessed was some pretty significant videos, if you ask me. And it's going to be kind of the theme of what I discuss here. The first one was Ed Reed in 2001. And the second one was obviously your stinking boy Tim Tebow in, I think, 2006, coming off of a loss. And what I want you to take from this is I want you to see what a football player looks like, okay? Ed Reed was consistently asked, hey, bro, you okay? And they're not performing up to the standard. And what does Ed Reed say? He says, man, stop asking me that, bro. Of course I'm not okay. You know, so-and-so said dominate, and we're not dominating. I put my heart and soul into this thing, and you can hear the love and the passion for the game coming out of Ed Reed's stinking mouth. The second one, Tim Tebow, after a loss. You know, they got all these aspirations of going undefeated. And what does Tim Tebow say? He says, you know, I apologize for what you just witnessed, but I promise you that you will never see a player work harder or a guy push his team further than what you're going to see from me for the rest of the season. God bless. And then he walks off the stage. I want you to know and realize and see so that you have a standard of what a football player is. A lot of guys get caught up on intangibles: height, arm length, speed, quick twitch, which are great things. But some guys that have that, they lack what those guys have. Now, obviously, Ed Reed is a tremendous athlete. You know, Tim Tebow was one hell of a stinking college football player. And when you couple that with being a football player, man, the sky is the stinking limit. And as I listened to the post-game interviews, we got one player. And I'm not trying to put him on blast, you know, but go back and look at Jahvaree Ritzy's interview. And I don't know if he's being coached to do this. I don't know if this is just the emotion that he has. But listen to it, and I want you to really look at the difference between these three mindsets. The difference between football players and guys that seem to be kind of going through the motions, man. I think this is important because I want to focus on this before we kind of get into the Duke-Carolina game. The last thoughts. Carolina's missing just that. They're missing football players. Where are the football players? Where are the guys that hurt? Because it seems like our guys are like, hey, it's just another loss, man. We'll move on. Right after the game. Not 2-3 days later after you're done. You know, obviously there's a time to stink and move on. But right after the game, like, hey, stinks, we lost, But we'll be in this thing weight room tomorrow. We'll watch some film, and we'll move on to Pitt. And it's another opportunity to go 1-0. The season's not over. You know, it's just a loss. JMU game was a loss. Duke game was a loss. You know, da-da-da-da-da. I can't personally stand that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when I lost, and to this day, I don't like to lose. It does something to my soul. Competition is a beautiful thing. But it's pointless if you're just doing it to do it. I tell my kids this all the time. I don't let my kids win. When we play horse, I don't let my kids win. When we play board games, I don't let my kids win. I don't want to set the standard of, hey, we're just playing to play. We're never just playing to play. In life, we're never just playing to play. Now, you can have fun and you can enjoy the competition, but what is more enjoyable than winning? And if you're not playing to win, then you're just out here spinning your wheels. What are you even doing? And if losing doesn't do something to you, I don't care if it's a game of thumb war. You have a really poor mindset when it comes to what you need to have as far as a athlete. That's important because Carolina went down to Durham, and after everything that transpired the week before that, they came out and they played a pretty dadgum good first half of football, 17-0. They allowed Duke less than 100 yards of total offense, man. Beautiful. Seems like everybody was in their run fits. Duke couldn't get anything on the ground. Malik Murphy couldn't get anything done in the air. Really good stinking work. And you know what you saw? You saw the talent of the North Carolina Tar Heels. But then here is where things change. The second half takes a little bit of this. It takes that stinking bone that goes from, you know, your stinking skull down to your stinking hips, your pelvis, it's called a spine, and it takes a little bit of stinking heart. And that's where you find out where your football players are. Duke made a run. Duke started literally punching Carolina in the face. And once again, Carolina does not respond, and they falter at the end because they don't have the football players. I'm not necessarily saying that Carolina needs an Ed Reed or a Tim Tebow. That would be stinking awesome. But boy, would it be nice to stinking have somebody that cared, man. Boy, would it be nice to see somebody sit there with that microphone in their face and say, hey, man, this one stinking hurts my soul. You know how much that would do for me? You know how much that would do for Tar Heel Nation? You know how much it would do if there was a guy who said, JMU, that loss, that's inexcusable. And this thing is going to stink and sting for a couple of days. But I promise you that there won't be anybody that works as hard as we will work for the remainder of the season. Where are the football players? I'm not talking about the athletes. I'm not talking about those guys. Where are the football players? Where are the guys that want to shoulder the load? Where are the guys that want to take the responsibility and the accountability? Where are the guys that are willing to put their stinking face out there and say, this is my team, I am going to work my ass off, and I will give you everything that I possibly have for the next 60 minutes, and I'll do it the game after that, and I'll do it the game after that, and I will not fail. Where are those guys at? Where are the Ed Reeds? Where are the Tim Tebows? Where are the Julius Peppers on this team? And that's what Carolina's really missing, man. And that's all part of the culture. You know, our culture is, hey, it's a loss. Stings, we move on. Tomorrow we'll lift. Tomorrow we'll watch film. We'll eat together. We'll love each other. We'll be together. You know, it's this kumbaya, you know, look, hey, great. But it doesn't amount to crap, okay, if you and your team are faltering down the stinking stretch. If this is like repetitive, it doesn't mean a stinking hill of beans, dude. Doesn't mean a hill of beans that you guys get along and, you know, whatever have you. I seen a thing, I can't remember if it was THI or IC, or they had a title on one of their you know, write-ups talking about the wheels wobbling. 100%. You can try to pretend like this is normal all you want. A loss to JMU and Duke, it's not normal. Year 6 of Mac Brown, it's not normal. And one of the things that we've seen, you know, in the last 2 games is we lack the stinking football players. And it is a direct correlation to the lack of culture that's been instilled into this program. That's from the top down. That's from Mac. That's from stinking Chip Lindsey, Jeff Collins. That's from Bubba Cunningham. It's everybody. These guys, you know, they're just not demanding excellence. Demanding it. You're watching guys committing penalties. They're on the field the very next play. You're watching guys make boneheaded mistakes time after time after time, and the second string guys are not even being they're not even being given an opportunity, you know, to, you know, get some stinking PT. I mean, if your stinking star is going to take himself out of the play consistently, and you're like, well, I mean, I can't let this guy stinking not be on the field. You know, he's my stinking 4-star senior guy, my 5-star senior guy. What's that got to do anything if he's washing himself out of the play and he's allowing Duke to have huge catastrophic plays? You know? And I just wish that we had more football players, man. I wish we had more football players, man. I wish we had some Jeff Schottmers, some guys that maybe didn't just turn up, dude, when you put them between the goal line and the 40-yard line, and you told them, hey, we're going to do a 40-yard dash today. I want to see how fast you are. You know, at the end of the day, bro, if you're just a football player, hey, I'll take you, man. I'll take you. Where are those guys at, man? Where are the Brandon Tates? Where are the stinking, you know, Hakeem Nicks? Where are these guys? It's something that we're missing, man. We're missing those stinking dudes, man. We're missing those dudes. About the one guy that we can say that we got is Omarion Hampton. Old stinking faithful, bro. My man had 50 yards receiving, 103 yards rushing on 34 touches. He did everything that he possibly could to stink and save this team. And we said feed Omarion Hampton. That's what they did. Unfortunately, they didn't open any holes for that dude. And I hate it for him. I really do. Because he would be that one guy. But he's just not the type of dude that's going to stink and rile everybody up. He's going to show you. And it's unfortunate that more people don't seem to follow him and his workmanlike, you know, mentality. One of the things that I completely observed in this football game, okay, and it's like cemented for me. There's no going back on this. Carolina lacks football players. They do. And like I said, it's directly correlated to the culture. It's not that we lost to Duke. It's how we lost. Up by 20 with a quarter and a half to go. And you lose by 1. In your rivalry game, and Duke rushes for 111 yards in the fourth quarter. You can't stop them. You know what that is? That is those men imposing their will on these men. That's the issue right there. You got football players over there. Maybe not guys that are tall and fast and quick twitch and all these other intangibles that everybody looks at and says, ooh. But you got football players over there. Over here, you got all that. You got all the stinking bells and whistles. But what you lack over here is some Rams. Some guys with some stinking legitimate attitude. Some pride. That's what we lack, man. And there's no other way for me to sugarcoat it at this point of the season, man. I hate that that's the fact. I don't take any joy in that. This is my stinking team, man. This is my team. But like I've told you guys 100 times, man, go back, play the tapes back, man. I have pushed this can, kicked this can down the road. Ooh, maybe, maybe it's this. I got faith in Mac this. The defense is going to turn the corner. Jeff Collins is going to get this right. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Bro, I'm not going anywhere. But at the same time, man, you can't just keep looking at the data and trying to turn a blind eye to it. Carolina lacks football players, and that is one of my biggest takes coming out of this stinking Carolina game, Carolina Duke, and it makes me nervous from here moving forward, man. Right now, your boy, I'm trying to find some positive things to look at, man, but the future looks bleak with a stinking undefeated Pitt team coming in. Who knows? Who knows? I got some time to think about this one. Man. And I will give you my stinking honest opinion, win, lose, or draw. But this one stinking hurt. Following up one of the worst losses in program history, it's how Carolina lost. They squandered a 20-point lead to the Duke Blue Devils, a team that, in my personal opinion, is not even that stinking good. So, you let me know what you think about that down in the comment section, Tar Heel Nation. If you haven't already, man, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you on the next one, baby.